it's a muscle, and you would be over for carrying it. Then the Mishnah said, a needle that doesn't have a hole in it, the woman went out with such a needle. What did the women use it for? She would use this pin to hold her. They would wear like a tichol. And it would hold it in place. It's some kind of something that they would wear on their leg to hold up their socks. And it should be permitted to go out with that because for tznius reasons, she's not going to remove such a thing. She'd have to lift her skirt to remove it. So it should be the same thing regarding the needle in her hair. She's not going to take her hair out. She's not going to take the tichel off to show it to somebody. So you should be able to go out with it. A woman sort of has a part. She keeps her hair apart in the middle of her head, and that's what she uses the needle for. And she's not going to take, right. B'Shabbos, so then B'Shabbos l'may chazi. So why would you be able to wear it on Shabbos? It's sort of held in place, some kind of implement, and she wouldn't remove it. And on Shabbos, they would also hold her sheitel or a tichel in place, and that way she's not going to come to remove it. Mishnah. Lo yetzeh ish b'sandal ha'mesumer. This is a wooden sandal that has nails in the front, in the back, on the sides, in order to secure the uppers with the lowers. The wood is on top. And no, excuse me, there's wood and then there's leather on top of that. So you don't go out with such a thing. The Gemara will tell us why not on Shabbos. The lo b'yachid bizman she'ein b'raglo maka. You don't go out with one sandal alone if he doesn't have a wound on his foot. So, for example, if he has a wound on his foot, he might not be able to put the other sandal on. Then you could go out with one sandal. You can't go out with tefillin on Shabbos. Lo kameh bizman she'ein min ha'mumche. An amulet for refuah that was not written by an expert, you can't go out with it. Below Syrian armor, below Kazda, the Gemara will explain what that is. Below Magafayim, which the Gemara will explain what all that is. These are all like battle helmets and armor. But they're malbushim during the week, for milchama. So we're going to see there's a gzeira, you shouldn't go out with it. But it's not considered a burden to make you chayav achatis. So the Gemara wants to know why sandal ha'mesumer, why this wooden sandal that has nails. Hi, Michael. Why these sandals with nails in it, you don't go out on Shabbos. Amr Shmuel explains, because it's a Maisa Shahaya. Shilfei Ashmad Hayu. These were people that were being chased by the Romans, so they were hiding. They were hiding in a cave. The Amr, they had a security system, Hanichnas Yikanes. Anybody who wants to come in can come in. Because a person going in will check behind him to make sure that nobody is following him to be able to discover this hiding place. The hayotze al yetze. You could come into this cave, you couldn't leave it. Because if you leave the cave, you don't know that there aren't enemy people outside. And he's going to leave, and he's not going to realize that. And so that was their security. You could come in, but you couldn't go out. Nepach sandal shalechad mehem. And one guy, he put on his shoe backwards. You could tell what was the front of the sandal and the back of the sandal. So, and he walked in. But even though he walked in, when they looked at the footprint, it looked like there was somebody walked out. So the people inside Kisvornim echad man yatsa. Maybe the enemies saw the guy leaving. The Akshav now they're going to come in and enter the cave and kill us. So there was a panic. So there was a panic, and more people died. More people died because of the panic than what would have been killed by the enemy. For that reason, from then on, they made a gzeira never to wear this kind of sandal. He has a different version. They were sitting in a cave. They heard a noise above the cave. Because the sandal is made out of wood. So they could hear it. They could hear a guy walking on top of the cave. Again, they thought that the enemy had come. Again, there was a panic. So for either reason, the gzeira was made not to wear this kind of sandal. Rami Bar Yecheskel Omar, a third version. Based on Knesses Hayu Yoshvin, they were sitting in shul. They heard footsteps from behind the shul. They thought the enemy was coming. Again, there was a panic, a stampede. More people were killed than if they would have been killed by the enemy. Whatever the version is correct, they made a gzeira never to go out with this kind of shoe. So why dafka Shabbos? Why not make the gzeira during the week? More answers. This ma'isa occurred on Shabbos. So the gzeira was also made only because of Shabbos, because that's how it occurred.
Ernie,
yes.
Just the sandal was really there, and they call it sandal. I'm reading from the Yerushalmi that it's in the Yerushalmi. They said an additional reason. It's called a spike sandal. It's not only wood; it had spikes under it. That we go to war with it.
Yeah, I said nails. The mesummer there's nails going through, so it's almost like cleats, like golf. Right.
So they.
What do we wear? Right. Yeah, there was spikes.
They wouldn't wear it on Shabbos because they said, someone explained that pregnant woman would see the sandal become frightened and miscarry because it spurred memory of the war. Others explained that they would be frightened of the noise, like we said, on the spikes and on the ground and miscarry. Therefore, the sages issued a decree prohibiting wearing sandals of that kind.
Right, but we didn't. Neither of the stories said anything about a pregnant woman, but we have the story about the cave and the shul and the.
Ernie,
yeah.
It's from Yerushalmi. It's not from the Bavli.
Oh, from the Yerushalmi, it gives another svar being pregnant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the Gemara says, then they should have made a gzeira during the week as well. So the Gemara says, "Ma'isa ki hava b'Shabbos." This ma'isa, which led them to do the gzeira, happened on Shabbos. So the gzeira is only for Shabbos. So based on that, says the Gemara, beyond of lishteri. So it should be permitted to wear this kind of sandal on Yontif. How come it says that you're not allowed to wear it on Yontif? Alma, it says, Meshalchin Kalim B'Yontif. You can send as a gift vessels, bein tfurim, bein shein tfurim, whether they're sewed or not sewed. Aval lo sandal amasumer. You couldn't send to somebody one of these sandals. V'lo minal shein tofrim, and you could not send a shoe that had not been fully sewn, also on Yontif. So the question is, if you tell me they made the Gzeir because the Ma'aser Shahaya happened on Shabbos, then Yontif it should be permitted. And for the Gemara, but Shabbos my time of the Kinufia. Shabbos, there's a big gathering. This was before Corona. And it says, Ein oisin malacha, people don't go to work. People pile in large crowds into the shuls. So it's really the Kinufia. The fact that on Shabbos there was a big gathering, that's why they made the Gzeir. B'Yontif nami ikki Kinufia. Yontif also was a big gathering. So that the same criteria that existed Shabbos existed Yontif. During the week, there's no big Kinufias. So there's no reason to make the Gzeir. Freit the Gemara Tanis Tzibur ikki Kinufia litzer. So how come on a public tainus, there the people did gather, yet it's not usher on a tainus to wear this sandal. So Ma'isa ki avi could be Kinufia di Yisura. The Knufia was on Shabbos, the gathering there's Asr Malacha. Yontif also is Asr Malacha. Hacha Knufia de Terahava. By a tainus, it's a gathering, but it's a gathering where you're allowed to do work. So it doesn't fit the criteria for the Gzeir. But feel Rab Chanina ben Akiva de Amar Loi Asr B'Yardenu V'Sfina K'Maisa Shahaya. Hanan ben Akiva, in a different Gemara, has a case where they were delivering para aduma dissolved in water, and then they found on the boat a corpse. So the para aduma water got tummy. So they made a gzeira that we should not transport mechatas by a boat or by a bridge. And Chanina explained that gzeira was only specifically referring to the Jordan, to a boat, and to the Ma'aser Shahaya. Because the Yarden was different than other rivers in terms of its depth and its width. Aval Yontif v'Shabbos ki adodinenu. But Yontif and Shabbos is really equal. The nan ein ben Yontif l'Shabbos al oichel nefesh b'lvad. Really, Yontif is exactly like Shabbos in all the Yisurim, except for oichel nefesh. So therefore, that's why the two Gzeiros, Shabbos and Yontif, by other places they're not. When do we asser these sandals that were spiked with nails? That's if the nails were used to strengthen the shoe. The heel, Rashi says the sole. Now, avalanoi mutter. But if these nails were put into the shoe for decoration, then it's not a problem. Kamalanoi. How many nails were put in for decoration? Rabbi Yochanan chamish b'zeh v'chamish b'zeh. 5 on one side, 5 on the other side. Because they would put one by the toe, one by the heel, one on either side. Rabbi Chanina Omer sheva b'zeh v'sheva b'zeh. He said it's 7. Two on either side, and one by the straps. 3 on either side. Meis will ask you a stira. Sandal hanoita, a sandal where one side was thicker than the other side. That's called sandal anoita. Oiselo sheva div Rab Nosson. They would put 7 nails. The Rebbe, and it would still be allowed to go out on Shabbos. Rab Matir was, Rebbe permitted up until Shlosh Esrei, 13. Bishlam Rab Chanina Udamak Rav Nosson. Fine, Rab Chanina is like Rav Nosson, and Rab Yochanan Damer Kaman. Who's Rav Yochanan saying what? So there's a third Tana. Udamak Rav Norai, the Tana Rav Norai Oimer, Chomesh Mutter. If a sandal had 5 nails, you could go out. Sheva Osir. If it had 7, you could not. Ormele Eifel Rav Barchana. Also, Talmid of Rabbi Yochanan. The Talmid of Rabbi Yochanan, Aviduk Rabbi Yochanan. They pass like Rabbi Yochanan. Anon, we Navik Rab Chanina. We do like Rab Chanina. Boy Ravunim Ravash Chomesh Ma'u. What about 5? Amrlo Afilu Sheva Mutter. Well, if Sheva's Mutter, 5 is certainly Mutter. So what about Teisha Mai? What about 9? If we said only up to 7, so anything above 7 is us. One of these guys who straps shoes. What if they sewed the sandal from the inside? Can you put nails there? Ormele mutter. My time they didn't know why they mattered. Ravashi, you don't know why he mattered? Even it's for since it was sold from the inside, it's not even considered a sandal. Havale minal, it's a shoe. The sandal goes to Rabbanah. The Gzeira was by a sandal. The minal goes to Rabbanah. By a shoe, they were not going to. Boilim Ravav Barzavdim Ravav Baravina. Asaukim in kalbus mau. You put in bent, slanted nails that were sharp, and it sticks out a little bit from the shoe. On relay mutter, that would be permitted, since it's different. Says Rashi from other masmerim. They only made a gzeira. Those kind of sandals that were exactly like those sandals. This is different. Itmar Nami, I'll bring you a support. Amrav Yezim of Chanina, Asalkim in Kabus Mutter. Amrav Sheshas, Chipo Kula b'masmoros. Let's say the whole sandal was covered with nails. Kidei Shlotei Karka or Chalto, so that it would last longer. Mutter, because it's not like a sandal on the summer that they made the gzeira on. I'll bring you a brisa to support what we just said. The regular spiked sandal you can't go out with. You can't even do it in your own chutzner. In your own room, from sofa to sofa. If you want to cover another kli, it could be used for that. It's not completely muktzah. The lismok bokarmita, or to lean the legs of your bed on. So it means it had some function. It wasn't completely muktzah. It depends if you wanted to use it that way. But Oyster, he said, no, it's completely muktzah. You can't use it for anything. What about if the nails fell out? Nashu Rav Masmeroisov, if nishtar bo arba chamisha mutter. If 4 or 5 remain, then it's permitted. The Rebbe matter ad shiva, like you said before. Rebbe said even up to 7. Chipo bo or milmata, you covered these nails or spikes with leather from the bottom. The kavala masmaris milmala, and you had the nails above mutter, because again, it's not like the sandal that they made the gzeir. Asaukim in kalbus, like we said, you bring it in sort of diagonally and they'd stick out. Okimin tas is like a flat. Okimin yater like a steak. Or you cover the whole bottom and top with nails so that the ground won't damage it. Mutter. So the Gemara says agufa kasha. it's internally contradictory what you just said. Amrit Nashur Rav Masmos. At first you said if the majority of the nails came out, even though you have a lot remaining, it's okay. But then you put a criteria on it, only 4 or 5. Only the tops of the nails came out, but the majority of the nail is still there. And kanchanekru, if they're completely removed and you don't see the masmerim, so then it's not going to be a problem. So then it said arba or chamesh mutter. So if you already said 5 is mutter, what's the point of telling me arba? Certainly, if you can go up to 5, then certainly 4. Hashta chamesh or arba mi boy is going to shout about 4. Aruchizda arba mi sandal cut. So arba you get only, you can't have, if the nails fell out and only 4 remain, then it's okay. If 5 remain, then it's a problem. And by an adult sandal, chamesh mi sandal go. But Rebbe Matir ad Sheva. Rebbe permitted even if there was many as 7 nails still remaining, would be okay. Vatani Rebbe Matir ad Shlosha. We had yesterday or before, he said Rebbe goes up to 13. So noiter, that's a different kind of sandal. Like we said, where one side is thicker than the other. Oh, Ashtadas is lahachi. Now that you have that answer, Rabbi Yechonami loikash. But we asked the steer before, and Rabbi Yechon is also noiter shani. He can say one is talking about noiter where it's thicker on one side and one is not. Rav Masna Bamila, Rav Voy Bar Masna, Rav Masna. Ain't halacha Rav Lazar Rav Shimon. Halacha is not like Rav Lazar Rav Shimon. Pshita, Yachid Rabbi Malach Rabbi. Whenever you have a singular person against multiple, the halacha is like the multiple. Wow, this time I thought maybe Mistavra time Rav Lazar Rav Shimon. Maybe his svara. What was his svara? That you can't touch it at all. That it's muktzah completely, not like Rav Sheshes. That's what Rav Shimon said. That it's muktzah. So maybe that made sense. So maybe I would think the halach is like him because the svara makes sense. Kamash Malon that we don't paskin like him. Arav Chia ilav the korlu bavloy shori isure. If it wasn't for the fact that they would call us Babylonians who always permit prohibitions, Sharmina Beituva, I would permit even more nails left in the shoe. Come up, Podis Amri Esrin V'Arba, even up to 24. And Besura Amri Esrin V'Tarti, 22. And Amrav Nachman Bayitzak V'Similach Adas V'Dis L'Sura Chosir Tarti. The way to remember, because from Pupadisa to Surah, a person who would walk would lose 2 of the nails on the road. That's how you remember 24 and 22 between the 2 sheep. The Lobi Yachim Bizman Shein Barag Lo Makra. So you shouldn't go out with 1 shoe if there's not a wound on the guy's foot. Yes.
I don't understand. What is the nafkamina with an amount of nails mishum halacha? In other words, they came up with a svara, but what's the nafkamina from the halacha?
No, because we said before, because then it doesn't appear like this. When they made the gzera, they were very specific. So the sandal has to be exactly like the sandal was back then. If the sandal looks different, it's got more leather or more nails or less nails, then it doesn't fit under the gzera.
And what the gzera is on nails is only le shato. It's not la'atid labo. I mean,
no, it's la'atid. No, but like we said before, the Gzera was extremely specific. Since the event occurred on Shabbos, therefore it's only also on Shabbos. You wear it on Monday and Tuesday.
No, I understand that.
And if the sandal isn't exactly the way it was over there, so that's the dispute. Is it up to 5 and up to 7? Rebbe says up to 7. We're talking about up to 7 means all the nails fell out, and how many remain? And then we said whether it looks, does it still look like the sandal where the Gzeira is? Then we say it's Asur. And if it's been changed so much where it doesn't look like the sandal that they made the Gzeira for, then it would be permitted.
By the way, when we talk about different nails, it's talking about, you've seen those brass knuckle nails. That's the way he shows it. Those ones which they come out into a triangle, like into a brass knuckle. You've seen those things where people walk around with those nails in their hand.
Yeah, like the boots that have shiny things on it.
No. Brass. You ever seen a guy who walks around when he wants to give somebody a clap? They got brass knuckles on their hand.
Yes.
It comes out like a coin. That's what they were talking about. Those are the kind of nails that they were using. On the bottom, those were the different nails. They weren't using regular.
Here's a picture. I don't know if you can you see that picture?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see.
Here's a picture of the different nails.
That's a picture of the sandal with the nails.
With the brass knuckle nails.
Okay, so tomorrow we're learning Yoredeya at 8:00. Hang on, Kenny just sent me. He said, "I the daf at 9." What do you mean?
I don't know.
Maybe he wants to learn with you at 9. It's okay.
Why did he think it was 9:00? We always learn at 8:00. Just
remind
him tomorrow, 8:00.
I send every night. I send a message to everybody.
Yeah, Oxnard is a different time zone.
Oh, Ventura
You
is
think
a different
he's still in
time zone.
Oxnard?
Yeah.
He's staying there. He moved in there.